Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. Gino, that Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. And today we are talking about Dorfromantik, which is how I choose to pronounce this game's title. I don't know if it's the correct pronunciation. But before the amazing German puzzle cozy game that we covered and told you we were covering, we have a bonus. One of our hosts has a book report on Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, the fan remake. So look forward to that as well before our Dorfromantik coverage. So you get two games for the price of one. Joining me as always to discuss all things video games, Pete Busby. Hello, Pete.
Hey, what's going on? Excited for both topics today, and I'm glad how related they are.
Yeah.
Little twist, didn't see that coming. This week's fun fact, not about hedgehogs. I didn't anticipate that, but it is about something that rolls up. So what do y'all call them? Pill bugs or roly-polies?
Pill bugs, personally.
Roly-polies is the technical term, so that's the scientific name for them, right?
Isopods.
That is Latin.
Yes.
Regardless. So pill bugs,
Rolus
roly-polies.
polus.
Regardless of what you call them, they're actually not bugs. They're crustaceans.
Oh.
And they're the only crustaceans that have evolved to live completely on land. Weirdly enough, though, they still have gills. So if they dry out, they can't breathe.
What?
Yeah.
Do they breathe in water? If I drop one in a cup of water,
they can't breathe underwater.
Oh.
They need to be like a certain level of damp, and that's it.
Oh. What a curse.
Yeah, it seems inefficient.
They can drown. And drown.
They can.
So how are they still around if they have this deformity?
Well, they can do some cool stuff. They can actually eat metal.
Whoa.
Which it doesn't provide them any nutritional sustenance, but if you have a bunch of poisonous metals in the soil, pill bugs can go in, eat it, and then it'll be basically inert. They crystallize it.
Is that why in Dungeons and Dragons there's a rust monster that looks like a gigantic pill bug?
Sure.
Almost.
Do you think Gary Gygax knew this fun fact when he made this?
I bet he did. He Is he still alive? He's probably dead, right?
He's so dead.
He seemed like a smart guy.
I mean, if you do enough drugs,
I wouldn't go that far.
You come up with all sorts of designs if you do enough drugs.
That's true.
Well, thank you for that awesome pill bug fun fact.
Yeah, no problem.
I already appreciated them, but now I appreciate them more. That other voice you heard is the mistress of games herself, M. Palladino. How are you doing, M?
Hello. I'm glad that we had such a cozy little game to play because I also had to play Project 06, which, So one of these games is going to be a good one. We'll find out which. I'll tell you which. It's not spoilers. Dorfromantik.
Spoilers. You got to leave the tease. You got to be like, one of them's good, but which one? ... And then we answer the question later on in the show, so people stick around.
All right, fine. We can save it.
It's up in the air. Who's to say which of these games is good? Before we talk about Dorfromantik and Sonic Project 06, reminder, you can get in touch with the show at Deep Listens Pod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That's our email address where you can send us emails. You can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. We are rapidly approaching 40 patrons. That is our next goal. And I believe that would involve us playing Mass Effect Andromeda, I think.
Is it?
I thought 40's
Is that
Mass
what we
Effect
decided?
Andromeda. No, so like 50 was the one we were trying to decide for us. But I believe 40 was Mass Effect Andromeda, the off the deep end people committed to. And I feel like we should join them for that one because we've covered
Gross.
almost all the Mass Effects.
They're the sister podcast. We don't
take
have to-
notes from
yeah,
them.
they take notes from us.
You're not wrong, but everyone remembers what a treat Eternal Sonata turned out to be.
That's
True.
And that was a collabo. Because we
All
fought over the custody of that game.
right.
They were right. It truly did belong to them, but we needed to experience it. All right, so yeah, support the show on Patreon. If you were to do so, you would get access to our Discord, where you could talk to the fine hosts of the show and other listeners, such as yourself, about video games and other things. And those other things would show up on the Discord report.
The Discord report. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. This week on the Discord report, do we want to mention the mugs?
We are putting in feelers for some merch mugs, so
Okay.
let us
Ooh.
know in the Discord if you are interested in that.
Handmade.
Handmade mugs that would be quite large. So
For all your hot liquids.
Really more of a bowl, honestly.
more of a bowl with a handle, honestly, but very deep.
Mm-hmm. For
So
the Deep Listens brand. Other things on the Discord. People are playing a lot of the new Final Fantasy remake.
Rebirth.
Rebirth, yes. And also playing a lot of the card game that's in there.
Queen's Blood.
Is it that good?
It's pretty good.
Do I really have to get this full price video game to play the mini game inside of it?
No, you don't have to do
Okay.
that. It's a good mini game. Like it's a well-made card game. It's probably, it's better than Tetramaster from 9. It's better than the Sphere game from 10-2, that like card game, that Sphere Break, I think was what it was called. It's better than Blitzball. I think it's probably better than Triple Triad.
What?
In
Not
8
Triple
or
Triad.
14?
Probably, but they're the same game, right? Just like
sort of.
14 makes it slightly more balanced
Yes.
because you can't just bring all the best cards.
I mean, you could, but there's a little bit more balance to it.
Yeah, so I just think there's more game to Queen's Blood. Like I could imagine playing Queen's Blood with a human opponent and finding it enjoyable. Like Triple Triad, you don't play against people, right?
You play against people. You can
can
play
in
against
14.
other players. Yeah.
But yeah, it does.
Um,
It feels like a lot of the game of Triple Triad is which cards you decided to bring at all.
mhm.
And
It's really more dependent on the like special rules that are in play at the
Yeah.
time.
the random board.
So, yeah.
Queen's Blood, like the cards just do more stuff. There's more.
Mm,
There are decks in Queen's Blood. Like,
mhm.
Let me ask,
yeah.
as the resident Final Fantasy hater,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we're remaking remakes at this point, right?
No. Rebirth is a remake of Final Fantasy VII. It is just a remake. It is so Final
Didn't we
Fantasy
already
VII,
do that?
Yeah,
7 was a
but-
long game, and remaking it and trying to do like a modern take on it, they spent basically all of remake was just the first 5 to 6 hours, I think, of the original game.
Yeah.
Oh, so they went Hobbit with this one.
Yeah, they cut it up into smaller bits that they're going to release
Okay.
over the next 10 years, probably.
Got it. Okay.
But it's very good. They did a good job. Like, they've filled the world. They haven't just stretched like The Hobbit, where it's just, oh man, this river rafting section's going to be a half hour of this movie. It's not just 1/3 fight scenes, the way that The Hobbit is. But yeah, it's pretty good. I've been playing it. Queen's Blood's good. The game is good. I love everything that happens in Costa del Sol. I love everything that happens in the cruise ship. Man, it's a fun game. Yeah, was there anything else that jumped out? I think that those were the main topics, definitely on the Discord. It's a lot of
Yeah.
rebirth going on right now.
Akira Toriyama passed away, and
Oh,
we were all
yeah.
sad about that.
We were. Did you hear that,
Yeah.
Pete?
I did not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to hear this way. He was 68.
Yeah.
It's
So
not that old anymore.
no, when you're working in the anime industry for 40 years, it wears on you a little bit.
That's true. That's
So,
like 150, like normal
yeah,
person years.
pretty much. But maybe we should play a Dragon Quest or something in honor of that. I'm not gonna pick it, but it's a consideration.
We've never done Blue Dragon, have we?
I was going to say it
I
would be
think-
appropriate if we picked Blue Dragon, a lesser
Yeah.
Dragon Quest.
I think Off the Deep End has already put their claim on that. I think we
they
have talked
claim
about
a lot
it in
of
the
shit.
past. That's true. And as we've already established, we do not take our notes from them.
Yeah.
No,
So-
we do not.
We'll think about it for a future pick. But it's my pick, and I get to pick. And I don't want to pick that yet.
That's
So,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair. I also can't. I can't play I'm already playing multiple JRPGs at the same time. I can't play a third one.
And Blue Dragon's like 70 hours too. It's huge.
Yeah, it's apparently not very good. It's apparently fine.
Is it?
It's apparently a-okay.
It's okay.
is
I mean,
what
I
hear.
played it. It's pretty
Okay.
good.
All right.
I didn't think they made games that long back in that era.
Oh man, it's so long.
Yeah, Mistwalker really enjoyed making games that were 20 to 30 hours longer than they needed to be.
Mhm.
Lost Odyssey is similar.
True.
So my shout out of the week before we get to your book report, have I shouted out the person in my neighborhood with one of them giant skeletons?
You have not.
No.
Okay. There's a person in my
March.
neighborhood who has one of them giant skeletons that you can get from Home Depot, etc. You know, them big skeletons.
Sure.
How giant are we talking?
It's about a 15, 20 foot tall skeleton.
Yeah.
That's big. That's giant.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a very big skeleton. They have it, and the neighborhood has like HOA rules that you're only allowed to have holiday decorations, you know, that are appropriate to the holiday.
Right.
But these neighbors have taken it upon themselves to bring delight and joy to all around them, and so they change the skeleton every holiday season. They bring out the skeleton every holiday season with different holiday appropriate attire.
Nice.
So,
What does it have right now?
so it was holding a shamrock recently.
Sure.
It was
Was it-
wearing a Mardi Gras mask.
Mm.
I'm guessing it will have some sort of Easter like bunny ears soon.
Yeah,
It had a Santa hat.
that's fun.
It had a big turkey leg in its hand for Thanksgiving. They put a jersey on it for the Super Bowl. So I just love seeing which obscure holiday or which holiday the skeleton will be, so that they never have to take it down. So yeah,
I mean, you could just daisy chain holidays pretty much all year. I mean, there's like a
Yeah.
little fallow period in the summer, but you could find like obscure ones.
I mean, you could give it like President's Day, give it the top hat. And,
Yep.
Yeah. Or like National
what
Hot Dog
else?
Day or something. Like
Yeah.
National
whatever.
Women's Day.
Mhm. Put a dress on it. You need a 15-foot dress, but you know, this seems like a more long-term investment than you initially planned for, honestly.
And sometimes you gotta stick it to the HOA. I've been
That's
there.
true.
I just appreciate it. I appreciate the hustle, the gumption. Like every day when I walk by that giant skeleton, I go, boy, oh boy, what a treat. What a delight. Our neighborhood is better for having this large skeleton. Yeah. So shout out for the week, that giant skeleton and its owners. So without further ado, Em, you have a homework assignment.
I have a homework assignment that I'm ready to do a book report on.
Please step to the front of the class.
Hello, everyone.
Hello?
Hi.
My name's M. Palladino. I'm here to report on Project 06, the fan. I think it's a remake.
It's a complete remake from the ground.
Yeah, they completely remade Sonic 06 from the ground up, and it's a standalone thing on my computer now that I'm going to have forever,
no.
I guess. What would you like to know about it?
Is it good?
Is it good?
You know.
Okay. To set the tone, which
Yes.
Sonic games, which 3D Sonics have you played already?
What have we played on the show? Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's it? You haven't played Sonic
Um,
Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2 as a child?
If I did, I have no memory of it.
That's good. That's for the best.
Yeah. I've played okay. I wasn't really a console person back when I was a child because my parents were like, we're never going to have consoles in this house. And then my first console was a PS2 when I moved out to go to college in 2009. So I completely missed all of the good Sonic games, and I did not pick them up afterwards. So my Sonic experience is very limited to the ones for like the Game Boy Advanced. And I have never had a reason to play any other Sonic games because I am not a 14-year-old child anymore. So, yeah, I have nothing to compare this to except for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Excellent. That's the best. Honestly, the best answer you possibly could have given.
Okay.
How does this compare to Shadow the Hedgehog, the only other Sonic game you've ever played? 3D Sonic game you've ever played?
I want to say it's better, slightly, only because it's not as annoying as Shadow the Hedgehog was.
It was annoying.
It was annoying, but slightly less annoying than what Shadow the Hedgehog had going on. Particularly, like, what was the name of that bee? Like
Charmy Bee?
Charmy Bee shouting in your ear every 30 seconds. It didn't have stuff like that. There was, like, Tails hanging out with you, and he was a little annoying. He was also very hard to play as, but I don't know.
How many humans kiss hedgehogs?
0.
So it's a
Boo.
downgrade. then.
Yes. So here's the thing about Project 06. They haven't actually gotten to the story mode yet. So all of the levels that you play are out of context, and there's still like story stuff happening in them. Like you play the level where Sonic rides a whale for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do a whole bunch of stuff like opening some gates and all that. And you're chasing after Eggman's ship, and there's no explanation as to why you're doing any of that, because there is none of this framework. And you also never go to the city area that I saw probably running around in for significant portions of the actual game. That's just not in there. Solana, I think it's called.
Soliana.
Soliana.
I have good news for you, Em. There
Yes.
isn't much context in the game
Oh,
as
okay.
it stands
No.
anyway, so it doesn't.
Fair enough.
Losing it doesn't matter that much. It's mostly someone yells at Sonic, "Hey Sonic, go to the beach," and then
Mhm.
you have to go find the beach. That's it.
Oh, okay.
There's not like deep, meaningful backstory there. You do miss some
Okay.
of the most buck wild cutscenes that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yep. You missed the Dragon Ball Z of the Sonic franchise, which is a disappointment.
Yeah, that's a downside because the buck wild
Mhm.
cutscenes are mostly what you're there for. But
Yeah.
like the interstitial running around Soliana, having like 3 NPCs tell you where to go,
Mhm.
you're not missing anything on that navigation. And
Yeah.
also like buying the upgrades that you need.
Yes. I was also thinking about that, and then I realized that I just had the upgrades that I would have had to buy. So
That's pretty
didn't have
good.
to worry about that.
This is a real addition by subtraction situation.
Yeah. Hmm.
So are all of the characters implemented? You can play as everyone?
You can play as Sonic, Shadow, and Silver in the main. Like you pick a character when you open up the side things. So, and then in the level itself, you then just jump into the body of another character, pretty much.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing, pretty much.
Same thing.
Okay.
Does it barely
checks
load?
out.
And it's just like the character goes,
No.
I'll take it from here, and then you just go. And that's it.
The loading is pretty fast. I didn't actually notice any loading screens now that I think about it, except for the
Ooh.
ones at the very beginning of the level, and those lasted like 5 seconds. So
How dare you?
yeah, that's an improvement.
Yes.
I think the fact that it actually functions is an improvement as well.
Yeah, how many times were you killed simply by the game's capriciousness?
Probably
Just to punish you for your hubris and send a message.
I mean, there were a bunch of times where I would like run and end up in a hole that I didn't know was there. Stuff like that. The fact that the Sonic games don't have a like edge awareness, like you just run right off the edge and there's no like, oh no, I'm about to fall. I better not push the forward button. That will make me fall. You just walk straight off. I know that's in the main game too, but goddamn, I wish someone would do something about that.
He's more of a lemming.
Yeah, you could he'll just walk in whatever direction you'd send him. He doesn't know what's in there. So
Okay. But other than occasionally falling into a hole that you didn't see because is the camera bad? Do you feel like you're in control of it?
I mean, the camera is a little bit slow, but it does feel like you are controlling it because
Sick.
It worked. I don't know how much it didn't work in the actual game.
Oh, it didn't work at all.
Oh.
Well, the camera occasionally would be like, "Hey, buddy, you want to look at the cinematic thing over here?" And then you would be trying to move, and Sonic would just suddenly violently jut in a direction because the direction you're holding the stick is no longer where you're looking. So that would happen semi-regularly. It was very floaty. And there were some sections where the camera would do a like dynamic, hey, look at this boulder rolling down a hill chasing after you, or something like that. And every time that happened, you just lost control of Sonic for a good amount of time.
I mean, that still happened in this because I posted in the Discord when I was playing it. There was like a snowboarding level. Mm-hmm. I was like, I have got I'm moving forward, so I'm holding the forward button, and then a giant rock appears behind me rolling down the hill, and the camera pivots, and also my controls pivot, and so now I'm running into a wall, and then the giant snowball is crushing me.
Yeah, you get it.
That's just part of the Sonic experience, I think.
That's the charm.
Yeah.
Did
Who
your
doesn't
game ever
want
crash?
to? No.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It never slowed down to 1 frame a minute?
Nope. I think they worked those bugs out.
Did you ever fly into the sky uncontrollably?
No. Can't say that I did.
Did you ever yearn for a more romantic experience?
Yes.
That's the downside.
Did you ever fly away into, like, how are the auto running levels?
Still bad, I think. Although, probably not as bad as they were for you, given all the other problems you had.
Are physics just constantly happening?
Oh, yeah. The physics are still the same as probably in the main game.
Okay,
but,
so stuff just blows up all crazy and you have no way to really
there are like
parts
of things that just fly off in random directions. I got hit with a tire at one point. Silver also has his like psychic telekinesis stuff, which is incredibly finicky, and you have to like pick up stuff and then throw it at monsters to get rid of them while you're doing like very precise platforming. It's not very good. I just think that's bad.
I heard they gave Silver an attack other than throwing stuff at people. Did you have like a psychic wave you could shoot?
Oh yeah, he does like a little force push kind of thing.
Oh, that must be nice.
It didn't really do much. I mean, it's basically for when you're right up against something. So
it's better than not being able to do anything.
Yes.
Does Amy? What are Amy's abilities? Did you play as Amy Rose?
I don't think I did, actually.
She would be in Silver's levels.
Why? See, with Silver's levels, I was like, I gotta get a good, like, basic understanding of all the characters. And then I did Silver's levels, and it was like the most, like, the smallest platforms that you have to jump up onto. And then he does, like, a little, like, slingshot thing on some of them. And then you have to control your landing. I was like, I think I get the gist of this one. I don't want to see any others. So I didn't explore Silver as much as the other two. But I guess I missed out on Amy, because why would I know Amy was even in there? She doesn't hang out with Silver.
She wants to date Sonic, and she doesn't realize that Silver wants to murder Sonic, so they hang out one time.
I see.
Okay, I was wondering because she felt the most unfinished of all of the characters. Did you play as Omega?
I don't think I did either.
He's on the Shadow levels. Did you play as Rouge the Bat?
Yes, I did have Rouge for a little bit. She was in like a snow level with Shadow.
Did you skip all of it by flying over it with Rouge the Bat?
Yeah, pretty much. You have to like find searchlights and blow them up. Oh, and then there was like a car section.
Yeah, how are the cars?
Bad.
Shadow.
They're still really bad. For some reason, they do not control the same as just like your normal controls. They have like another, like you have to accelerate with them. And when I was doing that, I just like immediately accelerated off of a cliff. And I was like, I guess this is the way this game goes.
So you did control Tails. Did you control
Yes.
Blaze the cat?
Blaze a little bit.
Okay.
Not a ton.
She has a double jump, so that's pretty sweet.
Yep.
At any point would you describe the feelings inside of you as joy?
No.
Yeah, you got the experience.
Yeah, I don't know what the experience was describable as. Joy is not one of them. As we are calling it a book report, I would say it's the feeling of having done my homework.
So it's more
different
relief.
kind of joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Accomplishment.
It's kind of, well, I had to do that anyway, so I guess now it's done.
Way to go. All right, I think that's a fine book report. Pete, do you have any other questions for M?
I don't. I got all my, human hedgehog romance questions out there.
Mhm.
My primary concern.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one more question.
Yes.
In the cutscenes, like the moments when the characters do talk to each other, do the lips move?
Huh. I don't think so. I wasn't really looking at them.
That would have been a heck of a lot of extra work.
True. I would have to go back in and check, I'll say.
That's fine. I just wondering because I hate how their lips move in the game, so I was wondering if they fixed that too.
They do move in the game and they're bad?
They do for everyone except for Mephiles. He doesn't have lips.
Who has no
Right.
mouth.
Because he's a robot, right?
He's a demon thing. It's whatever.
Yeah, like he's the darkness.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen Shadow Sora
What?
from Kingdom Hearts?
Oh,
I mean, yes, obviously I haven't
Yes.
seen that.
Yes.
It's like Shadow Sora, but what if
I
it was
thought you
Shadow
meant
the Hedgehog?
Shadow the Hedgehog, but Sora Kingdom Hearts.
Kinda.
I was like, I don't know if that's...
Yes, and.
Okay. This is when, in Kingdom Hearts 4, they go to the Sonic the Hedgehog level, and then Sora becomes a hedgehog.
Oh man, oh boy, don't give them ideas.
We have given them plenty of ideas on this podcast before. This one's for free. Work that out.
Sega owns Sonic the Hedgehog, and
There you
Square
go.
Enix owns Sora. Look, I don't know which brand would be slumming it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be Kingdom Hearts, honestly.
I think
You
so.
think so?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Almost certainly. They get to
True.
work with Disney, with real
That's
people.
true. What does...
Not known criminal Yuji Naka.
He is not there anymore.
That's true, because he's in jail.
Yeah. And we're going to interview him when Pete goes to Japanese prison.
I'm working on it already.
Yeah,
I got a plan.
Excellent.
We're figuring it out.
Our new feature, checking in with Pete, getting arrested in Japanese prison. All right. Well, that was Sonic Project 06. It's like Sonic 06. So, you died several times unfairly.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling like you had no control.
Plenty of times. What is it? Not the spin dash. That's something else.
The homing attack.
The homing attack.
The homing attack. Yes.
Yes,
that's still bad.
It's the most lethal thing in the game still.
Yeah, that's it. Either you want to be doing it all the time in certain levels, or you want to do it none of the time because you're trying to do like very precise platforming, and it is not conducive to that. Or you're over just a cliff and you'll fall in almost certainly.
Did you ever, just last question, did just like hitting a boost pad or a jump or a bumper ever simply kill you?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was doing the train level, and there's a boost right at the beginning of that. Pretty much like you do the intro like 2 lines, and then I think it's Sonic running after the train, and then Sonic just like launches off a boost, and then is supposed to land on a platform, and like several times I just got boosted in a completely wrong direction, and could not continue.
I'm glad
so
they
I was
let
like,
that in.
yeah, I think I'm going to come back to this one. Then I didn't.
Yeah, the nice thing about the train level is that everyone does the train level at some point, so it could be anyone.
I see. Didn't stop the train.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right. With that, thank you for your book report. We now turn to calmer things. Dorfromantik. Pete, you picked this.
I did.
What is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize there was follow-up. So, Dorfromantik is a game where you are placing hexagons with a series of different landscape features on on each of the 6 sides. So you can have plains, trains, rivers, fields, forests, towns. I think I got them all. Basically, what you have to do is you have to match up these tiles in order to create a spreading landscape, and you complete certain challenges, like build a forest with 150 trees, in order to get additional tiles to build out your landscape and rack up higher point totals.
Yep. So you get points for missions, like you said, Pete, like have 14 contiguous wheat fields, or have 80 houses. You also get points for how perfect your fit is of the tiles together. So like if you have a field and you put it adjacent and it's nothing but fields, and you can put it adjacent to fields on all 6 sides, you get a perfect fit, and you get a bonus 60 points for doing that. So you are highly incentivized to make, like touch like in this game, for the most part. And you just keep laying tiles until you run out of tiles. That's kind of it.
Yeah, that's the gameplay. There are special missions where if you look into the distance and you see a sort of gray shadow hexagon, you can build out towards it. And if you complete that challenge, you get a special biome. You also get additional tiles, like they don't really do much, but you get tiles with bears on them or tiles with boars on them. If you complete specific challenges like, lay 15 perfect tiles or score 100,000 points or things like that.
Yep. You get little boats. You get little trains to ride on your tracks. Windmills. Do the windmills do anything, or do they just look cool?
They just look cool. They are a useful tile because it's like basically all field.
Oh, okay.
You also get a water train station.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, basically it can connect to rivers and train tracks, which is also useful because those are some of the like delimiting areas. Like trains can really start to sort of limit your options depending on how you build out.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was definitely my favorite piece, was the water train station, just because it solves so many problems, and that feels like the most game designery piece, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's like I had a problem, and here's how I solved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because otherwise you can't have water tiles going into a non-water tile, and you can't have train tracks going into a non-train track tile, because then it would be like the line would be broken. And so this is sort of a way for them to end both of those, and then you can put water on the other side, or you could put land and it won't mess anything up. So it's very generous of them. Is this an actual like building out in the world? I don't think this is real, right?
Oh,
Does
no,
it-
I don't think it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not an actual structure, but maybe I just don't know stuff in Germany. Um,
Yeah, I don't think we said it is. It's a German game. Dorfromantik basically just means romantic village in German.
village romanticization.
Yeah.
Yes, by Tokana Interactive.
Mhm.
But yeah, you basically are just kind of building. How many tiles? How long would you say like a play session was for y'all?
Well, you start, I think like 40 is the base.
Get like 50 to start, and then quests will add on like 5 more usually, thereabouts.
Mhm.
Probably like, I don't know, 200 is usually where it got sort of out of hand, I would say. But don't quote me on that because I wasn't keeping track.
Yeah, and like you get tiles for completing quests, and then if you like close out one of the features, like if you make it so that you cannot add more field to a field or more trees to a forest, you will get payout. You'll get a second payout for like completing that forest.
Mm-hmm.
So like the game has this push pull of completing the tasks, and the tasks will kind of have ramp ups of like the number of trees you need and the number of hay, fields and stuff that you need. And so you kind of want to leave them open ended so that you can finish the next challenge. But then there's this other impetus to close them out so that you can get the full payout from your previous quests.
Yeah, they also, between the demo and the, like, let's say full version, they added some new quest types.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one where it's just, okay, you need 10 or more. So if you do, 80 villages, great, even better. Then there are some that you need the exact number. So you need like exactly 7.
Yeah.
So 8's no good to you. And then there are the ones that you have to, like Gino said, close out before you get any payout either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the hardest one for me to remember because I would do like 1,000,000 trees in one section.
Yep.
And then I would like have probably 5 of these flag quests that just weren't cashing out because I had so much that I couldn't close the loop in time, more or less. So it's a something to take into account when you're like making these sprawling like series of trees or fields or whatever, is that you're probably going to want to close those because you're basically leaving stuff on the table if you don't, which feels bad.
It does. This brings me to one of the key questions I wanted to ask, though,
Mm-hmm.
is when you guys were playing Dorfromantik, what did you play for? Because in my mind, there are basically 3 goals you can shoot for in Dorfromantik. There's maximum points. There's maximum size, so like putting down as many tiles as you want. And then there's what I think is the galaxy brain play, which is aesthetics. The prettiest landscape.
Yeah.
And what did you play? What brought you there? What were you playing for?
I mean, I barely ever looked at what my score was, so I wasn't playing for points. And What was the other one?
Points,
Tiles.
scale, and aesthetics.
I probably would say I was playing more for scale, and I try to keep everything in like their own little sections, and I think that's pretty aesthetically motivated. But I don't know. That's I was just putting down tiles. Sometimes you're just putting down tiles and you end up with a train track going off into the middle of nowhere.
Or little loops.
Yeah, little loops of them. I try not to do little loops. It seemed inefficient. So
Yeah.
aesthetics, I would say.
I wanted the most tiles. I wanted to play for as long as I could. Till they
Fair.
make me go home.
Yeah.
They just snatch the game out of your Steam library. There's like no
Yeah.
more.
You're done.
You're drunk.
I think
on
that's
tiles.
reasonable. Yeah, I don't think there are any wrong answers here. I started off playing for most tiles, and then I was like, you know what? It bothers me that there's this village here that's not near anything. You know, there's this train tracks that go nowhere. So I started building for, I'd call it like logistics. It's like I needed my community to make sense. It's like train tracks should connect to major metropolitan areas. You know, forests should be out there near the fields. I wanted my village to make sense cohesively.
Does the game punish you for that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Some of I were like, I would play stuff, and it's like you get to like 60 tiles, and then it's like, well, you blew it.
Yeah, that's the thing is like this game, to a certain degree, it is encouraging that, right? Like it wants you to put houses near houses and fields near fields, et cetera, et cetera. But it definitely, you know, you have to be skewing towards those quests. And if you just don't get the right draws, like what you said, Pete, with, oh, I want my main thoroughfare to involve a train because it makes sense for people to get around on trains. But getting those trains to connect and actually allow you to, you know, build a village, because sometimes the train tiles just have fields next to them or forests. And so just getting a train tile that doesn't match your overall goals, like you just kind of have to take what you can get. And so you end up with not fulfilling the goals of the game in terms of like keeping it going. You're not going to fulfill the quests as well. Your trains are not going to get as long as they need to get because, you know, a good loop around a city or in a city is actually what a city would want, not just endless train tracks sprawling out into the countryside, which is kind of what the game wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an added layer too that like you can unlock biomes, which are basically just palette swaps for your areas, which are nice. But then I have this added layer that like, no, I want my frozen biome in the north. And then you just sort of get what you get and put it where you can, and then you get a mismatch of, you know, different aesthetics unless you turn on just one to play with.
I just turned on the lavender biome and was like, oh, they're lavender fields.
You Philistine.
See, I didn't know that the lavender was a thing you could like toggle. And so when it gave me lavender, it made half of my field lavender.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ugly as hell. Oh, well, I guess that's just the way it goes.
That's how Germany is.
I guess.
Yeah. Also, a
as
little
hell.
consumer advice for you: if you buy it on the Switch, you get one extra biome.
What is it? Mario?
No, I think it's like Japanese.
I wanted it to be just Mario. The fields are just Mario's face.
It's me.
You make the
Pipes.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Yep, pipes instead of houses.
Yep.
But yeah, did you ever get an end? Like, is there a win condition? You just run out of tiles, right?
No.
Eventually the game ends.
If you go on YouTube, there's one person who posted a 6-hour 2-part video of them getting 1 million points. I watched like 3 minutes of it, and I was like, I have better things to do with my life.
What did it look like by the end of it?
I'm sure, like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm sure it was massive. But
Cut to the
reason I stopped watching is because It takes a lot of thought to get that many points, and it was taking them forever to put down each individual tile.
Oh,
no.
And I was like,
gross.
bail.
Yeah, so this game, I think it's a pleasant time. I think it's a game that I would recommend to people who are a little bit more casual with games. Like, this is a very European board game
Oh, yeah.
sort of game.
Definitely.
Like, this feels Ticket to Ride adjacent. The second you see a hex grid, you're like, Europeans made this. But
Unless it's the hex grid that I made.
unless it's the hex grid that you made, nice transition, Em.
Mm-hmm. I almost made this game at one point in my game making career.
She was living in Germany at the time.
It's just what you do when you're living in Germany. I was making basically a hex grid, procedurally generated, map builder for another game that went on top of it. And so if I had made one or two more logical leaps, I could have been like, maybe this is the entire game. But instead I did not make those logical leaps. Man, there's a lot of these videos of him getting to 1 million points, and he is nowhere near 1 million points. No,
yeah, I know.
It's the same person. Okay. Anyway, if I had edited myself down, maybe I would be like, you know what? The map builder could be the whole thing, but I didn't. And so I did not make hit Steam game Dorfromantik, but someone did.
Yeah, and
But-
fittingly, it was a game jam game that got
Yep.
spun up, which I think is it. That's you just kept spinning. You should have stopped.
Yeah, I mean, I had a design in mind, I'll say. So I was going for something different, and they were not. So they made a nice, cozy little game. I wanted adventure.
Blood, guts, romance.
Yeah, I didn't get to the adventure. I didn't get to the hedgehogs kissing human women of the game design, but I could have over more time.
These tiles barely kiss at all.
Yeah, there's no people in here. There are houses, but there are no people. Suspicious.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That is, yeah. You get to see the boats and the locomotives move, which is a nice, bit of motion. But some people would have been nice.
It's fun. Mm-hmm.
You do get animals.
You do.
You can put a bear. What else?
Bears, boars.
Yep.
Which, if there were people, you could menace them, but you can't because there's no people.
You could put a person tile right down next to a bear tile, and then
exactly.
I'd like to make a hypothesis.
Yes.
Okay.
About cozy games.
Yes.
I think you can track the oppressiveness of late stage capitalism based on the popularity of cozy games.
You think it's as we get more oppressive, cozy games get more popular?
Yes.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. It's like, I'll play unpacking because the alternative is going to actual work.
Yeah.
This seems much more appealing to me.
Or my life is so unimaginable. I just can't deal with it. Let me play Stardew Valley.
Mm-hmm. At least there it makes sense.
Yep.
You can defeat Jojo. What is it? Jojo Corp in Stardew Valley.
I don't know. You've already said more Stardew Valley words than I've ever seen.
I'll play Bear and Breakfast because my life is so terrible.
Well, that's depressing.
Now I can't get it out of my head. Pete, did you ever put a bear in the middle of your village?
No, I didn't. I should have. That would have been smart.
Yeah, try it out sometime.
Yeah, try it out next time. See what happens. See if there's screams.
You get minus points because people are running out of the village.
Oh, there were people, it turns out.
That's the only time they generate.
There they go.
My town is full of boars and bears. Help. Or maybe you could do a Berenstain Bears, a Bernstein Bears thing. Like, oh, the bear. It's a village of bears.
Yeah. Are there like, do the bears get like put a bunch of bears around them and you'll get more points?
No, they just count as plain tiles.
Oh.
The center section of the tile doesn't really have like much bearing on it.
No pun intended.
That was not, but I'm clever like that. It just happened.
Yeah. So this is a cozy little game. It's fun. I would recommend this for, it's more of a board game than it is a video game, I would say. Like, it's a auto-generating board game.
To that point, they made a board game of this.
They did.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. It seems fine. It's a board game. You do this. I don't know how much more there is to say about it.
But yeah, if you wanted to take this to a board game shop and harangue people with it, you could.
Yeah, it would work.
All right. Any other closing thoughts on Dorfromantik?
Well, I think we pretty much said it. I mean, it's a nice if you just need like 20 minutes or so to wind down, you can play a quick game of this. They have a short version too. And
they also do a pretty good job of just letting you get up and leave. Like it saves well. It's a game that you very much can just walk away from at any moment and come back to it when you feel like it.
There's something very scary about the 1 million points map, and I don't know how to describe it. Everything is like very sprawling outward. Like there are like trees that just snake off in other directions.
Like tentacly?
Yeah, it's kind of like all these houses are kind of like, I don't know, it looks like a disease. Like, in a petri dish, it'll like go from one side to the other and like webs. It's kind of like that. I don't know. It's unsettling. Something about it, especially when he goes over to like where the trains and the like river sections are, because it's kind of like cordoned off. The north is where all the houses are. Then there's a whole lot of trees, and then there's like crazy winding rivers to the south. I don't know. There's just something is wrong with the way this man did this.
Look, if you have to guarantee that all six sides match, you have to make sure that this is a giant patchwork world where, you're not filling in the interstitial parts because you need to fill them in perfect. So it's just a giant cracked surface.
Yeah, I don't know how you even get to the point where you're like, I know how to make everything perfect. It seems like you would have to set up a lot in order to even like get near that like level of gameplay,
I mean, it's a lot of analysis paralysis is what I would feel.
I guess, yeah.
But
he has 1,185 tiles in his like tile queue.
What? Like at the end, he hits 1 million points and he has 1,100 left.
Yes,
that's insane.
Yeah,
madness.
What a nightmare.
Weird.
Does it just look like they're building like the world from Bastion? Like it's just a bunch of floating tiles in space and everything else is just gone?
It's cohesive. Like there's very little space anywhere. A lot of just like patches of fields. I don't know.
This just tells you that like gamers can take anything and make it horrifying.
Yeah. This is also part 28, and all of the parts are 3 hours long.
Oh, I thought there were only 2. Oh my god, I wasn't going to watch that much, and there are 28.
Oh no, I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at a picture of the map.
Yeah,
and it is you're right. It's unsettling.
There's something very strange about it. I don't know what. Oh god.
You may not like it, but this is peak performance.
This is peak performance. Huh.
Well, that's Dorfromantik, which means, Em, it is now your turn to pick.
It's my turn to pick. All right. I said it was coming. I said after we did the Sonic 06 pod, I had a chaser that was going to close out our Sonic experience for good.
Oh no, you're going to kill us?
I'm going to kill Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to play the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Is
What?
that the actual title?
Yes, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It is a mystery, looks like an adventure, like a point and click adventure game.
Published by Sega.
What?
This is an official game published by Sega, and we're gonna kill Sonic the Hedgehog, and we're gonna never play a Sonic game ever again.
Oh my goodness, this trailer. This trailer's so good.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Save it. We're gonna talk about it.
Solve the mystery behind Sonic's murder, it says.
Mm-hmm. I'll read the thing. It's Amy Rose's birthday, and she's hosting a murder mystery party on the Mirage Express. When Sonic the Hedgehog becomes the game's victim, everyone is off to get to the bottom of things. However, something feels a bit off. Is this really an innocent game, or is something more sinister afoot? I think Sonic actually dies, and
We can only hope.
we're gonna figure that out. All right.
Oh, the first picture here is someone murdered my darling Sonic, and he's just in a heap.
He's in the Family Guy death pose.
Yes, incredible.
Yes.
All right, next up, we're playing The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank you, Em, for picking this and
You're
for
welcome.
letting me know this exists.
Yep. I hope it's good.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, my only regret is I didn't pick this first. I apologize to all of you.
And thank you, dear listeners. Reminder, you can get in touch with the show at deeplistenspod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. And you can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. Till next time, peace!